I would constantly get told, like, oh my gosh, I thought you were white when I was on the phone with you. Like, your English is so good. And like, wait, is that supposed to be a compliment? Like, thank you, but I don't know how I feel about that. I've known so many people who experience racism and don't translate it as racism because they don't have time to think about it, you know?
Yeah.
It's tough because you can't put it into words unless you fully process the feelings. And most of the time, BIPOC people don't have the time or luxury to process it, right? They just feel it and they accept that this is part of life.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
You're right.
Because when we talk about racism and microaggressions, the truth is it doesn't always come from white people.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's coming from other communities of color or even our own community.
True. Internalized racism, right?
Yeah, I think there's internalized racism in all communities. There definitely is in the Hmong community.
Okay. How does that show up for you?
There have been a couple times where people are like, oh, you look Korean. Oh, you're so pretty. You don't even look Hmong. And I'm like,
what?
Wait, what?
What does that mean? Why Korean?
Because Hmong people love Korean dramas. Like, just love it. So then, like, of course, then they're like, oh, that girl is so pretty. Because the thing is, what they're comparing it to isn't actually Korean beauty. It's the westernized ideals that Korean culture has adopted of, like, a specific kind of jawline, you know, a slim nose.
Right, even pale skin. Okay, so Korean dramas just totally bring people together. But in general, I think the Hmong community, at least from the outside, looks like a really tight-knit community.
Historically, Hmong people have always fled countries where we're being forced to assimilate. And it's always been like, no, we want to exist as our own people, practice our own culture, speak our own language. I think it's like through centuries of like pride over our Hmongness and not be assimilated too fully into another culture.
Yeah.
The result then is like, we're even here in America, we're like, oh, we gotta like stick to our people and have Hmong pride and like, which I think can be helpful in that like it's sustaining some of our cultural practices and harmful in that like some people don't know anyone outside of our community, which I think is not great, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's good to have diversity within diverse communities, right?
Where I have experienced racism often has been in the city, and it's often been young people.
Wow.
There was one point in time when I was working with middle schoolers, sixth graders, who are already tough. I've worked with kids of all ages, and sixth graders are the roughest.
Oh, yeah.
And so I went into the sixth grade class, and like the students were great, and then suddenly the student turned to me and said, "Ching Chong." And the racism just like hit me like a wave, and I had to be like, okay, I'm the adult here.
Yeah.
And like having to figure out how to talk to this young person about like this racism that they didn't understand, right?
So what was your conversation like with that person?
It was short because it wasn't like I was a staff at the school. I was only there for specific lengths of time. And so it was as simple as like, hey, that's not okay. This was a student who was Black. And so I tried to connect with the level of like you would not appreciate it if someone called you the N-word. That's the level of harm that it causes me to hear that. And she kind of like got very quiet, and I could tell she was thinking about it, but also very embarrassed.
Wow.
And so I let her sit with that, and then she like was very respectful for the rest of the time. A lot of it is that they learned this somewhere, but they don't understand the impact of that.
Wow, that's awesome you did that. And it just kind of puts into question like what teachers have to deal with. You know, where's the line between what an adult teaches at school and what a parent should be teaching at home? Now, with everything that's been going on, like, do you think things are getting better? Are we finally solving racism for once and for all?
I believe racism has always been there. It's just been packaged differently. Just because George Floyd was murdered and there's been racial reckonings and like uprisings, I don't believe that things are going to change all that much. And I think that the battle to fight racism will continue on for a very long time.
George Floyd, say his name! George Floyd! Philando Castile, say his name! Philando Castile!
I mean, even being an ally is somewhat complex, somewhat complicated on when you should act and when you shouldn't, right?
I talked to a friend of mine. He's a Mexican-American organizer who's been doing a lot of these Black Lives Matter marches.
Yeah.
And we talk a lot about how, like, you know what, we're going to show up and we're going to make mistakes, right? We're going to say the wrong thing sometimes. We're going to do things slightly wrong. And like when someone tells you, then you learn from it and you correct it, right? Because we're all learning.
Yeah.
You just have to come from a place of like not making it about you, because it's not about you. You know?
어리어야 한 줄을 더 적고 캐리어야 내 몸을 더 싣고 그 웃음 코로 나오고 비우다가 너도 나도 걸려